Friday, July 3rd, 2026. Today's World News Headline Summary. 1. CNN. 1-1. Supreme Court strikes down Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Donald Trump's executive order that aimed to end birthright citizenship in a landmark 6-3 decision. The justices firmly reaffirmed that children born in the United States to unlawfully or temporarily present parents are entitled to automatic citizenship under the Constitution. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for the majority, stating that the framers of the 14th Amendment extended the promise of citizenship to every free-born person in this land. This ruling marks a significant legal and political setback for the administration's hardline immigration agenda ahead of the elections. Civil rights groups widely celebrated the decision, with advocates calling the preservation of birthright citizenship a huge relief for immigrant communities nationwide. Vocabulary. Strike down. Phrasal verb. 무효화하다. 폐지하다. The Supreme Court struck down the controversial law. Birthright. Noun. 생득권. 태어나면서 얻는 권리. Education is a basic human birthright. Landmark. Adjective. 획기적인, 기념비적인. It was a landmark decision in legal history. Reaffirm. Verb. 재확인하다. The leaders reaffirmed their commitment to peace. Unlawfully. Adverb. 불법적으로. They entered the country unlawfully. Entitle. Verb. 자격, 권리를 주다. This ticket entitles you to a free meal. Setback. Noun. 차질, 타격. The team suffered a major setback due to injuries. Advocate. Noun. 옹호자, 지지자. She is a passionate advocate for human rights. 출생 시민권, 속지주의. 부모의 국적이나 체류 신분과 관계없이 해당 국가의 영토에서 태어난 모든 아이에게 자동적으로 그 나라의 국적을 부여하는 법적 원칙입니다. 미국은 헌법 수정제 14조, 14th Amendment를 통해 이를 강력하게 보장하고 있습니다.
1-2. CNN marks strong second quarter with year-over-year gains. CNN concluded the second quarter of 2026 with high performance across all platforms, driven by substantial year-over-year growth on television and digital streaming. The network recorded its most-watched second quarter in total day viewership since 2022, retaining its position as a top 5 cable network. Compared to the same period in 2025, total day viewership was up by 24% among general audiences. Executives noted that the strong quarter reflects the reach of CNN's distinctive global journalism and underscores the power of its multi-platform storytelling. Furthermore, consumers are increasingly engaging with digital video content, showing a 21% increase in intentional video starts per viewer. Vocabulary. Conclude. Verb. 마치다, 결론 짓다. The meeting concluded at 5 p.m. Substantial. Adjective. 상당한, 실질적인. There was a substantial increase in profits. Retain. Verb. 유지하다, 보유하다. He managed to retain his title as champion. Viewership. Noun. 시청률, 시청자 수. The show has a massive global viewership. Executive. Noun. 경영진, 임원. The executives decided to expand the business. Distinctive. Adjective. 독특한, 특이의. The brand has a very distinctive logo. Underscore. Verb. 강조하다. The recent events underscore the need for better security. Intentional. Adjective. 의도적인. The foul was completely intentional. 시사용어 해설. Year over year. YOY. 전년 동기 대비. 기업의 재무제표나 경제지표를 분석할 때 올해 특정 분기 또는 달의 수치를 작년의 같은 기간과 비교하여 성장률을 나타내는 방식입니다. 계절적 요인을 배제하고 실질적인 성장세를 판단하는 데 유용합니다. 1-3. CNN to air Expansive, the fourth in America, celebrating 250. As America marks a momentous 250 years of independence, CNN is set to broadcast an expansive slate of programming to commemorate the historic semi-quincentennial. On the evening of July 3rd, Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen will host an Independence Eve live countdown from Times Square, continuing a beloved network tradition. The broadcast will feature special guests and a unique midnight ball drop honoring the nation's milestone. The following day, CNN anchors will fan out across the country for non-stop special coverage, culminating in the Boston Pops fireworks spectacular. Representatives stated that reporters will spotlight the people and traditions shaping this historic moment in communities coast to coast. Vocabulary: momentous. Adjective: 중대한, 역사적인. It was a momentous occasion for the country. Expansive. Adjective: 광범위한, 포괄적인. The museum has an expansive collection of art. Commemorate. Verb: 기념하다, 기리다. A statue was built to commemorate the hero. Milestone. Noun: 이정표, 중대한 단계. Reaching 1 million subscribers is a huge milestone. Fan out. Phrasal verb: 흩어지다, 퍼지다. The search party fanned out across the forest. Non-stop. Adjective/adverb. 끊임없는, 직행해. We took a non-stop flight to London. Culminate. Verb: 절정에 달하다, 뭐뭐로 끝나다. The festival will culminate in a massive parade. Coast to coast. Adjective/adverb. 전국적인, 대륙횡단해. They drove coast to coast across America. BBC 2-1. U.S. and Iran conclude indirect talks without imminent deal. The United States and Iran recently concluded 2 days of indirect talks aimed at reaching a lasting peace agreement, but sources report that little progress was made. Negotiators focused heavily on ensuring safe passage through the critical Strait of Hormuz and the unfreezing of Iranian assets. President Donald Trump optimistically stated that a deal is scheduled to get signed on Sunday, projecting confidence in the diplomatic efforts. Conversely, Iran has cast doubt on this expedited timeline, emphasizing that military readiness remains intact. Mediators from Qatar confirmed that subsequent discussions will only resume after the funeral for Iran's late supreme leader. Vocabulary: indirect, adjective, 간접적인. They communicated through indirect channels. Lasting, adjective, 영구적인, 지속적인. We hope to build a lasting friendship. Asset, noun, 자산, 재산. Real estate is a valuable financial asset. Optimistically, adverb, 낙관적으로. She spoke optimistically about the company's future. Conversely, adverb, 반대로, 역으로. Older consumers prefer cash. Conversely, teens prefer apps. Expedited, adjective, 신속한, 촉진된. We offer expedited shipping for urgent orders. Intact, adjective, 온전한, 손상되지 않은. Despite the crash, the cargo remained intact. Subsequent, adjective, 그 다음의, 차후의. The initial failure led to subsequent improvements. 시사용어 해설. Strait of Hormuz, 호르무즈 해협. 중동의 페르시아만과 오만만을 잇는 좁은 바닷길로 전 세계 원유 공급량의 약 20에서 30%가 통과하는 글로벌 경제의 핵심 동맥입니다. 이 해협이 봉쇄되면 전 세계 유가가 폭등하게 됩니다.
2-2. Russian missile and drone strikes hit Kyiv, causing massive casualties, resulting in tragic consequences for the civilian population. Ukrainian authorities reported that the intense bombardment killed at least 17 people and wounded more than 90 others in the early morning hours. These attacks severely damaged residential buildings and local infrastructure, heightening fears of a massive escalation. Furthermore, a new strategic report revealed that Russia is likely using shadow ships in the ocean to launch drones that disrupt civilian aviation across Europe. Analysts claim this tactic is a deliberate attempt to probe defenses, while staying below the threshold that would trigger a collective NATO response. Vocabulary: bombardment. Noun:
포격, 폭격. The city suffered heavy bombardment during the war. Residential. Adjective. 주거이, 주택가이. This is a quiet residential neighborhood. Infrastructure. Noun. 기반시설. The hurricane destroyed the island's infrastructure. Escalation. Noun. 확대, 악화. We want to prevent any further escalation of the conflict. Disrupt. Verb. 방해하다, 교란하다. The bad weather disrupted the flight schedule. Deliberate. Adjective. 고의적인, 의도적인. It was a deliberate attempt to deceive the public. Probe. Verb. 조사하다, 탐색하다. The journalist probed deep into the scandal. Threshold. Noun. 한계점, 문턱. The pain reached my threshold of tolerance. 2-3. Syria's first post-Assad parliament begins taking shape. Syria's very first post-Assad parliament is steadily taking shape following a long and complex transitional period. President Ahmed al-Shara announced the appointment of 70 specific legislators to join the 140 members who were chosen in elections held over the past 8 months. The formation of this new assembly marks a crucial step in stabilizing a nation recovering from decades of dictatorship and civil war. Internationally, the new government is already engaging in high-stakes diplomacy. Al-Shara recently assured Lebanese leaders that Syria will remain neutral regarding Lebanon's internal issues. Regional powers are closely watching how this newly structured parliament navigates the ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Vocabulary. Transitional. Adjective. 과도기에, 전환기에. The country is in a transitional phase right now. Appointment. Noun. 임명, 지명. His appointment as CEO surprised the staff. Legislator. Noun. 입법자, 국회의원. The legislators voted to pass the new tax law. Assembly. Noun. 의회, 집회. The National Assembly meets twice a year. Crucial. Adjective. 결정적인, 중대한. Water is crucial for our survival. Dictatorship. Noun. 독재정부. The citizens rebelled against the brutal dictatorship. High stakes. Adjective. 중대한, 이해관계가 큰. It was a high-stakes negotiation between the two nations. Navigate. Verb. 어려움을 헤쳐나가다, 항해하다. It is hard to navigate the complex legal system. 3. ABC Australia. 3-1. Aussie cricketer Usman Khawaja launches Islamophobia awareness campaign. Former Australian international cricketer Usman Khawaja has proudly launched a national campaign to combat the rising tide of Islamophobia. Having retired after a stellar 15-year career, Khawaja is utilizing his significant public profile to tackle anti-Muslim hate head-on. He bravely shared a personal story about his mother, who was verbally abused by fellow Australian fans simply for wearing a traditional hijab at a match. The new campaign features a powerful video urging bystanders to step in and report incidents immediately. Khawaja noted, "When we call it out, when we report it, we make space for systemic change," highlighting the need for collective social responsibility. Vocabulary. Combat. Verb. 방지하다, 맞서 싸우다. The police are working hard to combat crime. Stellar. Adjective. 눈부신, 뛰어난. She had a stellar career in the music industry. Utilize. Verb. 활용하다, 이용하다. We must utilize all available resources efficiently. Head on. Adverb. 정면으로. She decided to face her fears head on. Verbally. Adverb. 말로, 구두로. The referee was verbally abused by angry fans. Bystander. Noun. 구경꾼, 방관자. A brave bystander intervened to stop the fight. Step in. Phrasal verb. 개입하다, 나서다. The teacher had to step in when the students argued. Collective. Adjective.
집단적인, 공동의. Protecting the environment requires a collective effort.
3-2. U.S. defeats Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0, advancing to World Cup round of 16. The U.S. men's national soccer team secured a dramatic 2-0 victory over Bosnia-Herzegovina, officially clinching a spot in the World Cup's round of 16. The highly anticipated match marked the first time the U.S. men's team won a knockout stage game in 24 years. Forward Folarin Balogun scored the opening goal in the first half, but was later handed a controversial red card, making him ineligible for the next match against Belgium. Despite being down to 10 men, Malik Tillman sealed the victory with a stunning free kick in the 82nd minute. The win generated massive celebrations across the host nation, solidifying the team's impressive run after topping their group earlier. Vocabulary. Secure. Verb. 확보하다, 확정짓다. The team secured a place in the finals. Clinch. Verb. 승리 등을 이루어내다. They clinched the championship title last night. Anticipated. Adjective. 기대되는, 대망의. The highly anticipated movie breaks box office records. Knockout. Noun. 토너먼트, 결승 토너먼트. The team was eliminated in the knockout stage. Controversial. Adjective. 논란이 되는. The referee made a highly controversial decision. Ineligible. Adjective. 자격이 없는. He is ineligible to vote because of his age. Seal. Verb. 확정짓다, 봉인하다. Her final goal sealed the victory for the team. Solidify. Verb. 확고히 하다, 굳히다. This project will solidify our position in the market.
Number 3. 3. Price hikes for water and electricity in Queensland despite budget measures. Households in Queensland are facing steep increases in both water and electricity bills, despite the state government's recent cost of living budget measures. The opposition Liberal National Party, LNP, had previously announced a freeze on bulk water charges, but typical households are now bracing for an annual hike of roughly $61. Angered by the sudden increases, the Queensland government heavily criticized energy and water retailers for exploiting consumers. Officials have openly threatened to change legislation and enforce strict regulatory action if these price hikes threaten the fundamental budget measures designed to help struggling families. The escalating dispute highlights the intense political pressure surrounding utility costs in Australia. Vocabulary. Household. Noun. 가정, 가구. Most households now have fast internet access. Steep. Adjective. 가파른, 급격한. There was a steep decline in sales last month. Brace for. Idiom. 에 대비하다. The citizens are bracing for the upcoming storm. Exploit. Verb. 착취하다. 이용해 먹다. The company was accused of exploiting child labor. Legislation. Noun. 법률 제정, 법안. The government introduced new environmental legislation. Regulatory. Adjective. 규제에 단속하는. The industry is subject to strict regulatory oversight. Dispute. Noun. 분쟁, 논쟁. The border dispute lasted for several decades. Utility. Noun. 공익사업, 공과금. 가스, 전기등. We need to pay our utility bills by tomorrow. 4. The Korea Times. 4-1. Korea's referee drought exposed again at 2026 FIFA World Cup. Korea's early exit from the 2026 FIFA World Cup has starkly highlighted a deeper institutional failure, the country's inability to produce a World Cup referee for 24 consecutive years. FIFA assembled its largest ever officiating team, consisting of 170 officials for this tournament, yet not a single Korean official was included. This absence is particularly embarrassing when contrasted with neighboring countries like China and Japan, which successfully sent full referee crews. Critics attribute this drought to the Korea Football Association's, KFA, lack of long-term vision and persistent administrative shortcomings. Experts argue that rebuilding the referee development system from the ground up must now become an urgent priority for Korean football. Vocabulary. Drought. Noun. 가뭄. on 오랜 결핍. The team ended a 10-year championship drought. Institutional. Adjective. 제도적인, 기관의. We need to fix the institutional flaws in the system. Consecutive. Adjective. 연속적인. It rained for 5 consecutive days. Assemble. Verb. 모으다, 돌입하다. The manager assembled a highly skilled team. Officiating. Noun. 심판보기, 직무수행. The officiating in the final match was excellent. Contrast. Verb. Noun. 대조하다, 대조. Her actions contrast sharply with her promises. Attribute. Verb. 뭐뭐의 탓으로 돌리다. He attributes his success to hard work and luck. Persistent. Adjective. 끈질긴, 계속되는. Persistent rain caused severe flooding in the area.
4.2. Ukraine FM reveals Russia wants swap between Korean POWs and Ukrainians. Ukraine's foreign minister has shockingly revealed that Russia is seeking a prisoner swap involving North Korean POWs and captured Ukrainians. This statement serves as a critical, indirect confirmation that a significant number of North Korean soldiers deployed to support Russia have been captured on the battlefield. The disclosure adds a deeply complicated geopolitical layer to the ongoing war in Eastern Europe. The Ukrainian government is actively leveraging this evidence to showcase North Korea's direct military involvement in the conflict. Consequently, Kyiv is demanding that the international community impose stronger sanctions and take decisive action against both Moscow and Pyongyang. Vocabulary. Reveal. Verb. 폭로하다, 밝히다. The investigation revealed a massive corruption scandal. POW. Abbreviation. 전쟁포로. Prisoner of war. The Red Cross visited the POW camps. Confirmation. Noun. 확인, 확증. We are waiting for official confirmation of the news. Deploy. Verb. 배치하다, 파병하다. The general decided to deploy more troops to the border. Capture. Verb. 포획하다, 생포하다. The police finally captured the escaped criminal. Disclosure. Noun. 폭로, 폭로된 사실. The disclosure of confidential documents caused an uproar. Leverage. Verb. 활용하다, 이용하다. They leveraged their social media presence to increase sales. Decisive. Adjective. 단호한, 결정적인. We need to take decisive action to fix the problem.
4-3. Hate speech seeps into Korean classrooms. A disturbing new trend is emerging as politically and socially charged hate speech rapidly seeps into South Korean classrooms. Fueled by unfiltered YouTube content and viral social media posts, students are increasingly exposed to extreme rhetoric at a young age. Provocative memes and toxic slang that promote political polarization and gender conflict are being consumed uncritically by teens. Teachers report that this hostile language often leads to bullying and creates an unsafe learning environment for marginalized students. Education experts urgently emphasize the need for systematic media literacy programs and digital ethics education to help students foster mutual respect. Vocabulary. Seep. Verb. 스며들다, 배어나오다. Water began to seep through the crack in the wall. Unfiltered. Adjective. 여과되지 않은, 노골적인. She is known for her unfiltered opinions. Rhetoric. Noun. 미사여구, 말, 수사법. The politician's fiery rhetoric energized the crowd. Provocative. Adjective. 도발적인, 자극적인.
The movie was banned for its provocative scenes. Polarization. Noun. 양극화. Economic inequality leads to social polarization.
Hostile. Adjective. 적대적인. The company faced a hostile takeover bid. Marginalized. Adjective. 소외된. We must protect the rights of marginalized communities. Foster. Verb. 조성하다. 발전시키다. The program is designed to foster leadership skills.
5. The Korea Herald. 5-1. Kospi sinks below 8,000 on fears over slowing AI chip demand. The Kospi unexpectedly sank below the symbolic 8,000-point threshold, heavily dragged down by mounting fears over slowing global demand for AI chips. Because South Korea's economy relies disproportionately on semiconductor exports, any signs of weakening demand trigger extreme market volatility. Top tech companies faced intense pressure as foreign and institutional investors aggressively sold off their holdings. Financial analysts noted that local leveraged chip ETFs are severely struggling to bring retail investors back home in this uncertain climate. The OECD also issued renewed warnings regarding Korea's rising exposure to economic shocks due to its heavy reliance on the tech sector. Vocabulary. Sink. Verb. 가라앉다. 하락하다. The stock market sank significantly yesterday. Threshold. Noun. 한계점, 기준점. He has a low threshold for pain. Disproportionately. Adverb. 불균형적으로. The disease disproportionately affects the elderly. Volatility. Noun. 변동성. Investors are worried about market volatility. Institutional. Adjective. 기관에, 제도에. Institutional investors control a lot of capital. Aggressively. Adverb. 공격적으로, 적극적으로. The company aggressively expanded its overseas market. Retail investor. Noun. 개인 투자자. Retail investors often follow market trends. Reliance. Noun. 의존, 의지. Heavy reliance on one product is risky for business. 시사 용어 해설. 레버리지 ETF. 레버리지 ETF는 주가 지수나 특정 산업, 예 반도체의 변동폭을 2배, 3배로 추종하도록 설계된 고위험 고수익 투자 상품입니다. 상승장에서는 큰 이익을 얻지만 기사처럼 하락장에서는 손실이 2배, 3배로 커져 개인 투자자들에게 치명적일 수 있습니다.
5-2. Extra long weekend in July as Constitution Day reinstated as public holiday. South Koreans are set to enjoy an extra long weekend this July, as Constitution Day on July 17th is officially reinstated as a national public holiday. Following a significant revision to the Act on Public Holidays passed by lawmakers, this year's observance falls on a Friday, offering many workers a much-needed 3-day break. The reinstatement brings the total number of official non-working days in 2026 up to 119. Retailers and travel agencies are already branding this July as a year of blessing for employees, anticipating a massive boost in consumer spending. Calls to restore the holiday had grown steadily in recent years after being championed by political leaders. Vocabulary. Reinstate. Verb. 복귀시키다, 회복시키다. The school decided to reinstate the sports program. Revision. Noun. 개정, 수정. The document needs major revision before printing. Observance. Noun. 규칙 등의 준수, 축제, 기념일. The observance of Independence Day includes fireworks. Retailer. Noun. 소매업자, 소매점. Major retailers reported a drop in sales this quarter. Anticipate. Verb. 예상하다, 기대하다. We anticipate a large crowd at the event. Boost. Noun/verb. 증가, 격려, 밀어올리다. The tax cut provided a major boost to the economy. Champion. Verb. 옹호하다, 앞장서서 싸우다.
He has championed the cause of civil rights for decades.
5-3. Parliamentary committee enters blockaded ballot counting site for inspection. A parliamentary committee finally entered a heavily blockaded ballot counting site to conduct its first on-site inspection amidst growing political controversy. The facility, located at the SK Olympic Handball Gymnasium in Seoul, had been tightly sealed by police officers following serious allegations of election irregularities. As public pressure and media scrutiny intensified, authorities were forced to open the entrance for the lawmakers. The high-stakes inspection aims to verify the integrity of the counting process and alleviate public skepticism. Political analysts state that the outcome of this investigation will serve as a crucial watershed moment for resolving the ongoing electoral disputes. Vocabulary. blockaded, adjective, 봉쇄된, 차단된. The rebels blockaded the main road to the city. Ballot, noun, 투표용지, 무기명 투표. The union held a secret ballot to decide on the strike. Inspection, noun, 검사, 사찰. The restaurant failed its safety inspection. Allegation, noun, 증거 없는 혐의, 주장. He denied the allegations of corruption. Irregularity, noun, 불규칙성, 부정행위. Auditors found several irregularities in the accounts. Scrutiny, noun, 정밀조사, 철저한 검토. The new law is under intense public scrutiny. Integrity, noun, 진실성, 온전함. I never doubted his professional integrity. Alleviate, verb, 완화하다. The medicine helped to alleviate her headache.
6. CGTN 6.1. Heat waves trigger extreme weather events and massive emergency responses across multiple nations worldwide. In Portugal, authorities issued the highest-level red weather warnings as temperatures threatened to reach an unbearable 47 degrees Celsius. Simultaneously, France is battling massive wildfires in its southern regions, fueled by severe drought and strong winds. Across the Atlantic, a stagnant heat dome over Canada has put millions under emergency heat alerts, while the UK officially recorded its hottest June in history. Climate experts urgently urge governments to treat these extreme temperatures as a systemic national risk rather than a mere seasonal inconvenience. Vocabulary. Trigger. Verb. 촉발하다, 유발하다. Certain foods can trigger severe allergies. Extreme. Adjective. 극단적인, 극심한. We are experiencing extreme weather conditions. Unbearable. Adjective. 참을 수 없는. The pain in my shoulder was almost unbearable. Simultaneous. Adjective. 동시에. There were simultaneous protests in 3 cities. Stagnant. Adjective. 고여있는, 침체된. The water in the pond is stagnant and smells bad. Inconvenience. Noun. 불편함. We apologize for any inconvenience caused by the delay. Systemic. Adjective. 시스템적인, 전체에 영향을 미치는. The banking crisis revealed systemic flaws in the economy. Response. Noun. 대응, 반응. The emergency response team arrived quickly.
6.2. Promotional event for Xi Jinping, the governance of China, held in Turkey. A major promotional event for the English edition of the 5th volume of Xi Jinping, the governance of China, was successfully held in Ankara, Turkey. The gathering brought together government officials, prominent scholars, and publishers from both nations to exchange insights on state governance. Participants emphasized that the new volume systematically presents the latest achievements of Chinese socialist thought. Jalal Aden, a senior Turkish official, stated that Turkey aims to enhance synergy between China's Belt and Road Initiative and its own Middle Corridor strategy. Organizers noted that such cultural and political exchanges inject new momentum into the deep-rooted bilateral friendship and economic cooperation. Vocabulary. Promotional. Adjective. 홍보회, 판촉회. They handed out promotional flyers at the mall. Governance. Noun. 통치, 국정운영. Good governance is essential for economic growth. Prominent. Adjective. 저명한, 두드러진. She is a prominent figure in the tech industry. Systematically. Adverb. 체계적으로. The documents are systematically organized by date. Synergy. Noun. 시너지, 동반 상승 효과. The merger created great synergy between the two firms. Momentum. Noun. 추진력, 탄력. The campaign is quickly gaining momentum. Deep-rooted. Adjective. 뿌리 깊은. Racism is a deep-rooted problem in many societies. Bilateral. Adjective. 쌍방의, 양국 간의. The two nations signed a bilateral trade agreement. 시사용어 해설. Belt and Road Initiative. 1대1로 이니셔티브. 중국이 주도하는 거대 경제권 구상으로 아시아, 유럽, 아프리카를 잇는 육상 및 해상 실크로드를 재건하여 인프라 투자와 무역을 확대하려는 글로벌 전략입니다.
6.3. Fragrant lotuses burst into bloom at Beijing's Beihai Park. The beautiful lotus flowers at Beijing's iconic Beihai Park have officially entered their prime viewing period this July. Lush green lotus leaves stretch endlessly across the park's lake, while delicate pink blossoms burst into bloom one after another. As gentle summer breezes sweep over the water, the elegant lotus blooms sway gracefully, filling the warm air with a soft, sweet fragrance. Set perfectly against the historic backdrop of the White Pagoda, the flowers create an incredibly elegant and tranquil scene for visitors. Nature photographers and locals alike are flocking to the park to capture the serene beauty of this traditional summer spectacle. Vocabulary. Iconic. Adjective. 상징적인. The Eiffel Tower is an iconic symbol of Paris. Prime. Adjective. 주요한, 최고의. The house is located in a prime neighborhood. Lush. Adjective. 무성한, 푸르른. The tropical island is famous for its lush forests. Delicate. Adjective. 섬세한, 연약한. Wash these delicate fabrics by hand. Gracefully. Adverb. 우아하게. The ballet dancer moved gracefully across the stage. Fragrance. Noun. 향기. The perfume has a sweet floral fragrance. Tranquil. Adjective. 평온한, 고요한. We enjoyed a tranquil evening by the lake. Flock. Verb. 모이다, 떼지어가다. Tourists flock to the beach every summer.
7. NHK World Japan. 7.1. Japan's Tankan survey shows improved manufacturer sentiment. Sentiment among major Japanese manufacturers has improved for the 5th consecutive quarter, according to the latest highly watched Tankan survey. Released on July 1, the sentiment index for large manufacturers rose to plus 22 points, marking a solid 5-point increase from the prior survey. This optimistic outlook was primarily driven by the machinery sectors, which benefited vastly from strong global demand for artificial intelligence and chip-related equipment. Concurrently, sentiment for large non-manufacturers improved for the first time in 5 quarters, reaching plus 37 points. However, forward-looking confidence for the next 3 months slightly declined across the board, reflecting lingering global uncertainties. Vocabulary. Sentiment. Noun. 정서, 체감 경기. Consumer sentiment has improved this month. Consecutive. Adjective. 연속적인. The company posted profits for 10 consecutive years. Optimistic. Adjective. 낙관적인. She remains optimistic about the future. Primarily. Adverb. 주로. The policy is primarily aimed at reducing poverty. Vastly. Adverb. 대단히, 엄청나게. The new model is vastly superior to the old one. Concurrently. Adverb. 동시에. He was serving 2 prison sentences concurrently. Lingering. Adjective. 오래 끄는, 좀처럼 없어지지 않는. He still has a lingering cough from the cold. Forward-looking. Adjective. 미래지향적인,
앞을 내다보는. We need a forward-looking strategy to succeed. 시사용어 해설. 방칸조사. 일본은행, BOJ가 1년에 4번, 분기별, 약 10,000개의 기업을 대상으로 실시하는 기업 단기경제 관측조사입니다. 기업들이 현재의 경기를 어떻게 느끼고 있는지 체감 경기를 숫자로 보여주기 때문에 일본 경제의 단기적인 흐름을 파악하는 가장 중요한 선행지표입니다.
7-2. Tsunami advisory issued for Japan following Philippines earthquake. A widespread tsunami advisory has been urgently issued for Japan's southern and eastern coasts. The alert was triggered by a massive magnitude 8.2 earthquake that struck off the coast of the Philippines. Areas under the advisory stretch extensively from Ibaraki Prefecture in the east all the way down to Okinawa Prefecture in the far south. The Japan Meteorological Agency warned residents in coastal regions to stay strictly away from the ocean and river mouths. Local emergency officials are monitoring tide levels closely, urging citizens to evacuate to higher ground if conditions worsen. Vocabulary. Widespread. Adjective. 광범위한. The hurricane caused widespread damage. Advisory. Noun. 주의보, 경보. A severe weather advisory was issued for the state. Trigger. Verb. 유발하다, 촉발하다. The loud noise triggered a panic in the crowd. Massive. Adjective. 거대한, 엄청난. The explosion created a massive crater. Magnitude. Noun. 규모, 진도. An earthquake of magnitude 7.0 hit the island. Extensively. Adverb. 광범위하게. The topic was covered extensively in the report. Evacuate. Verb. 대피하다, 피난하다. Residents were ordered to evacuate the burning building. Worsen. Verb. 악화되다. The political situation continues to worsen. 7-3. Okinawa coffee growers brew up new techniques from Taiwan. Okinawa's local coffee growers are determined to boost both their crop production and bean quality despite a highly challenging tropical climate. To overcome frequent typhoons and unpredictable weather, they are actively learning advanced cultivation techniques from experts in nearby Taiwan. Taiwan has successfully developed its own highly praised specialty coffee industry under similar environmental conditions. The cross-border agricultural exchange involves hands-on training in soil management, pruning, and harvesting. Okinawan farmers hope that these new methods will help them establish a robust and globally competitive local coffee brand. Vocabulary. Determine. Verb. 결심하다, 결정하다. She is determined to finish the marathon. Challenging. Adjective. 도전적인, 힘든. The mountain climb was a challenging experience. Tropical. Adjective. 열대지방에. I love eating tropical fruits like mangoes. Cultivation. Noun. 경작, 재배. The land is suitable for the cultivation of wheat. Robust. Adjective. 튼튼한, 탄탄한. The economy showed robust growth this year. Cross-border. Adjective. 국경을 넘는, 국제적인. They plan to increase cross-border trade. Pruning. Noun. 가지치기. Spring is the best time for pruning the trees. Competitive. Adjective. 경쟁력 있는. We must keep our prices highly competitive. Number 8. Al Jazeera. Number 8. 1. How the North American heat wave could impact the FIFA World Cup. Concerns about extreme summer heat have become a highly dangerous reality as the 2026 World Cup violently collides with a powerful heat dome over North America. With temperatures expected to exceed 43 degrees Celsius, 110 Fahrenheit in several host cities, forecasters are warning of severe heat-related safety issues. Fans walking to stadiums face scorching concrete pavements that can reach an astonishing 50 C, 122 C, posing major health risks. To protect athletes from fatal exertional heat strokes, FIFA has enforced mandatory 3-minute hydration breaks during every match. Medical experts strongly urge all spectators to limit alcohol intake and take frequent breaks in shaded or air-conditioned areas. Vocabulary. Collide. Verb. 충돌하다, 맞물리다. The two cars collided at the intersection. Exceed. Verb. 넘다, 초과하다. Do not exceed the speed limit. Forecaster. Noun.
기상예보관. Weather forecasters predict heavy rain tomorrow. Scorching. Adjective. 몹시 뜨거운, 찌는 듯한. It was a scorching summer afternoon. Fatal. Adjective. 치명적인, 죽음을 초래하는. The car accident proved to be fatal. Exertional. Adjective. 운동성애, 격한 활동으로 인한. Exertional heat stroke is a risk for marathon runners. Enforce. Verb. 법 규정을 집행하다, 강제하다. The police will enforce the new traffic laws. Mandatory. Adjective. 의무적인. Attendance at the meeting is mandatory.
828. 8 Thai monks killed after child drives truck into procession. A deeply tragic accident occurred in northeastern Thailand when an 11-year-old boy drove his family's pickup truck into a Buddhist procession. The underage child had reportedly stolen his parents' vehicle without permission and lost control, crashing into approximately 30 monks on a pilgrimage. Police authorities confirmed that 5 monks died instantly at the scene, while 3 others later succumbed to their severe injuries in the hospital. CCTV footage from a nearby property captured the terrifying moment the speeding truck violently struck the walking procession. The boy is currently in police custody and will undergo thorough questioning regarding the fatal collision. Vocabulary. Procession. Noun. 행렬, 행진. The religious procession moved slowly through the streets. Underage. Adjective. 미성년의. It is illegal to sell alcohol to underage youths. Pilgrimage. Noun. 순례, 성지순례. Many believers make a pilgrimage to Mecca. Instantly. Adverb. 즉각적으로, 즉사하여. He was killed instantly in the explosion. Succumb. Verb. 굴복하다, 상처 등으로 쓰러지다. She finally succumbed to her illness. Terrifying. Adjective. 끔찍한, 소름 끼치는. The whole movie was absolutely terrifying. Custody. Noun. 구금, 유치. The suspect was taken into police custody. Thorough. Adjective. 철저한, 빈틈없는. The doctor did a thorough checkup. 8-3. Bomb blast in crowded Damascus cafe kills at least 9. A deadly bomb blast brutally tore through a highly crowded cafe in central Damascus on Thursday, resulting in mass casualties. Initial reports confirmed that the explosion killed at least 9 innocent people and severely wounded 22 others. Security officials warned that because the bombing occurred in such a busy commercial area, the official death toll could still rise significantly. Many of the wounded victims are currently receiving critical treatment for severe injuries at the nearby Al Mawassa hospital. Authorities have immediately launched an investigation to determine exactly who could be behind this devastating terrorist act. Vocabulary. Blast. Noun. 폭발. The blast from the bomb shattered the windows. Crowded. Adjective. 붐비는, 복잡한. The subway was extremely crowded this morning. Casualty. Noun. 사상자, 피해자. The accident resulted in heavy casualties. Initial. Adjective. 초기에, 처음에. My initial reaction was to run away. Severely. Adverb. 심하게, 엄격하게. The building was severely damaged by the fire. Toll. Noun. 희생자 수, 통행료. The death toll from the earthquake reached 500. Devastating. Adjective. 파괴적인, 치명적인. The tsunami had a devastating impact on the coast. Launch. Verb. 시작하다, 착수하다. The police launched a massive search operation.
9. CBC Canada. 9.1. July 1 is a critical day for the CUSMA trade deal and Trump's tariffs agreement. July 1 marked a critical deadline for the trilateral review of the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA, which has been in effect for exactly 6 years. The trade deal remains absolutely vital for Ottawa, as it currently shields nearly 90% of Canadian exports from President Donald Trump's aggressive tariffs. While both Canada and Mexico formally expressed their strong desire to secure a 16-year extension, the United States bluntly declined. The Trump administration is using the deadline to force a fresh round of endless renegotiations, aiming to heavily boost domestic manufacturing and block backdoor access to its markets. Despite the U.S.'s refusal to extend, the agreement will not expire instantly, but will legally remain in force until 2036. Vocabulary: trilateral. Adjective: 삼국 간에. The leaders held a trilateral meeting in Tokyo. Vital. Adjective: 필수적인, 생명과 관련된. Water is vital for all living organisms. Shield. Verb: 보호하다, 방패가 되다. The umbrella shielded her from the heavy rain. Tariff. Noun: 관세. The government imposed a new tariff on imported steel. Decline. Verb: 거절하다, 하락하다. She politely declined his invitation to dinner. Domestic. Adjective: 국내, 가정에. Domestic flights depart from Terminal 1. Expire. Verb: 만료되다, 기한이 끝나다. My passport will expire next month. Aggressive. Adjective: 공격적인. The company took an aggressive approach to marketing. 시사용어 해설. CUSMA, USMCA. 북미 자유무역 협정을 대체하여 미국, 멕시코, 캐나다 3국이 맺은 새로운 자유무역 협정입니다. 미국에서는 USMCA, 캐나다에서는 CUSMA라고 부르며 서로의 무역 장벽을 낮추기 위해 만들어졌습니다. 테리프, 관세. 자국 산업을 보호하기 위해 외국에서 수입되는 물건에 매기는 세금입니다. 관세가 높아지면 수입품의 가격이 비싸져 자국산 제품의 판매에 유리해집니다.
9-2. Extreme weather wipes out Ottawa's Canada Day activities. Severe extreme weather conditions have completely wiped out many of the highly anticipated Canada Day activities in the capital city of Ottawa. A massive heat dome hovering over the region pushed daytime highs and humidity levels well above seasonal norms, creating highly unstable atmospheric conditions. Meteorological officials warned that the intense, sweltering heat significantly increased the risk of severe thunderstorms and lightning strikes. For public safety reasons, organizers were forced to abruptly cancel major outdoor celebrations, including the grand evening fireworks display. Consequently, thousands of disappointed revelers had to seek indoor shelter away from the hazardous weather. Vocabulary: wipe out. Phrasal verb: 파괴하다, 취소하다. The storm wiped out the entire village. Hover. Verb: 맴돌다, 머물다. A helicopter hovered over the accident scene. Humidity. Noun: 습도. The high humidity made the heat feel worse. Unstable. Adjective: 불안정한. The political situation in the country is highly unstable. Atmospheric. Adjective: 대기에. Atmospheric pressure changes can affect the weather. Abruptly. Adverb: 갑작스럽게. The meeting ended abruptly when the fire alarm rang. Reveler. Noun: 축제 참가자, 흥청거리는 사람. The streets were filled with happy revelers. Hazardous. Adjective: 위험한. Smoking is hazardous to your health.
93. FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming to Toronto in 19 days away. Excitement in the bustling city is reaching a fever pitch. Local communities are heavily embracing the global sporting event, with numerous soccer-related events popping up across the metropolitan area. Recently, Canadian Tire's Jumpstart charity launched a nationwide initiative in Toronto specifically to get more children actively involved in the sport. Fans are eagerly anticipating the critical knockout matches, particularly the round of 32 game scheduled to be played at the Toronto Stadium. City officials expect a massive influx of international tourists, which will provide a significant boost to the local economy. Vocabulary: fever pitch. Noun: 극도의 흥분 상태. The crowd reached a fever pitch before the concert. Bustling. Adjective: 북적거리는, 번잡한. The market is always bustling with people. Embrace. Verb. 포용하다, 받아들이다. We should embrace new technologies to move forward. Initiative. Noun. 계획, initiative, 주도권. The government launched an initiative to plant more trees. Eagerly. Adverb. 간절히, 열망하여. The children eagerly awaited opening their presents. Critical. Adjective. 결정적인, 비판적인. This is a critical moment for the project's success. Influx. Noun. 유입, 밀어닥침. There was a sudden influx of refugees at the border. Boost. Noun. 증가, 활력. The unexpected donation gave the charity a big boost.
Number 10. DD India. Number 10. 1. Energy security gets major boost as India, Japan deepen cooperation. India and Japan have significantly agreed to deepen their strategic cooperation on energy resilience amid evolving global geopolitical challenges. Following a high-level summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, the two nations unveiled a comprehensive roadmap. The agreement strictly focuses on strengthening strategic petroleum reserves, securing stable energy supplies, and enhancing maritime transport security. As major energy-consuming nations, they pledge to share invaluable expertise on crude oil stockpiling and coordinate emergency response mechanisms to stabilize turbulent energy markets during supply disruptions. The partnership also explicitly encourages mutual commercial investments in overseas upstream energy assets. Vocabulary. Resilience. Noun. 회복력, 탄력. The economy showed great resilience after the crash. Evolve. Verb. 진화하다, 발달하다. The small business evolved into a global corporation. Comprehensive. Adjective. 포괄적인, 종합적인. The school offers a comprehensive training program. Petroleum. Noun. 석유. The country's economy relies on petroleum exports. Invaluable. Adjective. 매우 귀중한. His advice was invaluable to my career. Expertise. Noun. 전문 지식. We need your expertise to solve this complex problem. Stockpile. Noun/verb. 비축력, 비축하다. The government started to stockpile medical supplies. Disruption. Noun. 붕괴, 중단, 차질. The strike caused significant disruptions to train services. 시사용어 해설. Strategic petroleum reserves, 전략 비축유. 전쟁, 자연재해, 팬데믹, 혹은 지정학적 갈등으로 인해 원유 수입이 갑자기 끊길 경우를 대비하여 국가 차원에서 대규모로 지하에 저장해 두는 원유를 의미합니다. 국가 안보의 핵심 방어망 역할을 합니다.
10.2. India strengthens green hydrogen push as Acme signs export deals. India marked a monumental milestone in its clean energy ambitions as Acme Group signed long-term export agreements with major Japanese companies. Under the historic deals, Acme will steadily supply 405,000 tons of green ammonia to IHI Corporation and 100,000 tons of green methanol to Mitsubishi Gas Chemical annually for 10 years. These projects are directly supported by Japan's Contract for Difference, or CFD subsidy scheme, which strategically provides price support to buyers. Indian officials celebrated the agreements, stating they establish a highly robust market linkage with Japan. Consequently, this cements India's rapidly growing position as a leading global production hub for green hydrogen and its environmentally friendly derivatives. Vocabulary. Monumental. Adjective. 기념비적인, 엄청난. The moon landing was a monumental achievement. Milestone. Noun. 이정표, 중대한 단계. Reaching 1 million subscribers is a huge milestone. Steadily. Adverb. 꾸준히, 안정적으로. The company's profits have been increasing steadily. scheme. Noun. 제도, 계획. The government introduced a new recycling scheme. Subsidy. Noun. 보조금. The farmers receive a subsidy to help grow crops. Linkage. Noun. 연계, 연결. The linkage between poverty and crime is well documented. Cement. Verb. 결속시키다, 확고히 하다. The new treaty cemented the alliance between the two nations. Derivative. 명사, 파생물, 파생상품. Gasoline is a common derivative of crude oil. 시사용어 해설. Green hydrogen, 녹색 수소. 태양광이나 풍력 같은 재생에너지를 이용해 물을 분해하여 생산하는 수소입니다. 생산 과정에서 탄소가 전혀 배출되지 않기 때문에 궁극적인 청정에너지로 불립니다. 저장과 운반을 쉽게 하기 위해 흔히 녹색 암모니아나 녹색 메탄올 형태로 변환되어 수출됩니다.
10.3. India, Japan seal 16 key outcomes across AI, energy, and mobility. India and Japan unveiled an extraordinarily ambitious package of 16 key outcomes following their 16th annual summit held in New Delhi. The sweeping agreements significantly expand strategic bilateral cooperation across high-tech domains like artificial intelligence, economic security, clean energy, and critical minerals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his counterpart, Sanai Takaichi, adopted a landmark joint declaration on economic security cooperation. This pivotal declaration aims to jointly build highly resilient supply chains and firmly oppose arbitrary export restrictions or economic coercion. Furthermore, both leaders emphatically reaffirmed their shared commitment to maintaining a free, open, and rules-based Indo-Pacific region amid rising global tensions. Vocabulary. Ambitious. Adjective. 야심찬. The company has an ambitious plan to double its size. Sweeping. Adjective. 전면적인, 광범위한. The new manager made sweeping changes to the rules. Domain. Noun. 영역, 분야. She is a highly respected expert in the domain of physics. Pivotal. Adjective. 중추적인, 중요한. He played a pivotal role in negotiating the contract. Resilient. Adjective. 회복력 있는, 탄력 있는. Children are surprisingly resilient after a tragedy. Arbitrary. Adjective. 임의적인, 폭단적인. The boss made an arbitrary decision without consulting us. Coercion. Noun. 강압, 강제. The confession was obtained through police coercion. Reaffirm. Verb. 재확인하다. The leaders reaffirmed their commitment to peace.